I am Jason Abraham, the Shadow Teacher 33. And the book, Vadim Zeland's Reality Transurfing. One of the big themes of that book is tapping in to an original desire of our spirit, an original calling of our spirit. And the theme throughout that book is that people are pulled out of their authentic nature by what he calls pendulums. Pendulums which attach their strings to us and tug on our consciousness through their influence. And Zeland describes pendulums as having a mental, emotional, and energetic influence over the human being. This is how they influence our consciousness. They hit us from the mental plane through how we're taking in ideas and concepts, how we emotionally attach to those ideas and concepts, what we feel about the ideas and concepts, and then ultimately having our energy field shift to become harnessed by that pendulum. And he says, as long as we are tugging on the strings of the pendulum, or the pendulum is pulling its string on us, we're always going to be at this place to where we're chasing something, yet we're never finding it. We're always going to be a prisoner to our desire. This is how pendulums work. We're always going to identify with a theme that is external from the truth of who we are. And he says that the only way we can cut the string of the pendulum is to not fight it directly, but simply allow it to do its thing, allow it to be, for us to recognize it, but detach from it essentially by calling it out, allowing it to swing, and letting go of any kind of emotional charge it may have on us. There's a scene in the movie Enter the Dragon, Bruce Lee's biggest movie, the movie that made him a big star in America, the movie that came out, I believe, after his death and took him to a new level, the movie that was the realization of an affirmation he wrote on an index card saying that he was going to be the highest paid Asian American movie star, and in return he was going to give the most exciting performances on film. And he realized that dream, but the ultimate realization of that dream was the movie Enter the Dragon, again, which he never lived to reap the benefits. But I'm digressing. So there's a scene in that movie where the combatants, again, this is a martial arts movie where fighters from around the world are invited to this challenge on a remote island by a drug lord. He invites the greatest martial artists to come compete so he can recruit them into his crime syndicate. And one of the challengers gets in a tiffy with Bruce Lee. And Bruce Lee, instead of fighting this combatant directly, he accepts the challenge of this combatant, but says, why don't we do this on this island over here? So again, these fighters are all in a boat traveling to a remote island, and there's another island on the way. And so when he coaxes this aggressor, this irritating opponent, to get on the boat and he accepts the challenge, but he does it on the terms of going to this other island where they have more room to fight. He simply lets go of the rope, and the fighter is stranded out in the ocean. And immediately, from being this aggressive bully, he's pleading for help. He's afraid for his life. And Bruce Lee never had to lift a finger to fight this guy. He beat him through what he called the art of fighting without fighting. He outsmarted his opponent. He understood the situation. He was detached, didn't have anything to prove in this point. So he didn't care about fighting this guy. His ego was in check. So he was able to see a bigger picture, and instead of being pulled by the strings of a pendulum, which is needing to prove himself in a circumstance where he would get no benefit from it, he was able to let go and see a bigger picture and win a battle without exerting any energy whatsoever. And this is what Vadim Zeland says we should do with a pendulum. When we're dealing with a pendulum and we want to be free of it, if we look at it even as an opponent, as an aggressor, as something we have to exert energy into fighting to cut the string from, then we lose. Then we're already a prisoner of it. But if we can let go, detach, truly let go emotionally from the pull of this thing, and again, the big emotion a pendulum pulls us with is desire to identify with something outside of ourselves, a desire to be part of a tribe, a desire to feel important. When we can let go of that desire and detach, then we are truly free. So with that being said, I'm going to end this transmission, and I'm going to enjoy the freedom of this beautiful day out here in nature. I'll see you on the other side.